we're two crafty Sheilas. I'm Loz, and I've got Belle on the line with me today, and we are going to do a whip and chat today. How you going, Belle?
Oh, sorry. I'll apologise in advance if I have any coughs. I'm going to try and edit them out, but it just means that the cough may be a little bit cut. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm trying the best that I can.
Belle's not doing the best today, so I'll do all the talking, which won't be an issue for me. So
how are you going,
Hey?
How are you going?
Not the best. I'm going to be putting on a brave face today. So I think in our last week and chat, we did talk about my old cat. Her name is Cleo, and how she was sitting at the door just glaring at me and stuff. I'm pretty sure that was her. But unfortunately, she went over the Rainbow Bridge on Thursday. So today is Sunday. So we're 3 days ago, she went over the Rainbow Bridge. So
I'm so sorry, Lois.
Thank you. It's been a really hard few days, especially since she was 18 years old. She'd been with us, my husband and I, from the start. Pretty much the year we met each other, we got her. And so she was one of the OGs of our animals, the last one of the last OG to go. And I'm devastated. She's my baby girl. I feel like I'm going to cry. She's my baby girl, and I miss her.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. I know she's in a safe place, and she's in the backyard. Thank you, sweetheart. She's in the backyard, and we're going to do a beautiful flowers around her grave. And, she was the last one to go, so we thought she can have the house. She gets the house. Yeah. Whereas the others are down on my in-laws' farm, so... Yeah, it's been a tough few days, and I miss her dearly. But it really sucks because I'm actually working on a kit called Cat Crazy Chloe by Craftibly, and it's by Sheena Pike. So I think you can see that I've just worked on the cat. So this is really hard for me, and you'll probably see that I might not get this finished. But I thought I'd just sort of work on it today and see if it'll make me feel a little better. I think it's going to be a beautiful tribute. Yeah, I think it will be. And I hope Sheena Pike doesn't mind, but I'll probably change it to Cat Loving Cleo. Drop the H.
I'm pretty sure she would understand.
Yeah, so even though I love the name Chloe, but it's very similar to Cleo for me. But yeah, so this is what I'm working on today, and it is a beautiful kit. It is by Craftibly. I got this one in a D-stash here in Australia. I was so excited to get it. So she's actually quite beautiful. She's got the big red glasses and
there's a little cat necklace.
Yeah, isn't it gorgeous?
That's
absolutely so gorgeous. Oh, I love it. And then if you look at the middle of her glasses, she's got a cat print on there.
That's adorable. I love that.
So it is gorgeous, and the mug has got a cat, and there's another picture of a cat in the roses, and it's a gorgeous kit, and it will get done. But yeah, it's
if you have to, you put it away and you come back to it in a few weeks when you're a little bit more okay.
I think so, when it's not as emotional. But yeah, so I have my Diamond Art Club tray. I find this one works really a lot better for me with rounds. I have my typical, sorry, I just got the camera, pens from Diamond Art Club, and the storage I'm using is my Temu little buckets, because they're in baggies. So
nice.
I think it's just so easy just to use that way. So, and this is my little trash container. So just another small
not too much trash.
No, not at the moment. It's really good. So not good. I just found a set of drills under my painting.
It's all right. You obviously didn't need them just yet.
No, I wasn't looking for them yet.
No.
Yeah. So I see you're working on your little PaintGems.
My minis, yes. So being the month of February, there's a couple of events that I'm participating in. So one of them is being hosted by Debbie, the Crafty the Crafty Diamond. Sorry, Debbie. It's been hosted by Debbie at the Crafty Diamond and Kim with Kimber's Crafts.
Nice.
So they're hosting an event of minis for the month, and their only requirement is you have to do 3 canvases in the entire month. So
That's all
it's
right.
a really fun little event to participate in. You know, it's very, very little pressure. Like most people are going to be able to get 3 kits done in 28 days. And it's canvases, not full kits. So I think that's really cool. And I'm loving seeing all the different brands and things that they've got available. So the one I'm doing is the National Parks edition. So I'm planning on finishing the whole kit this month, but I only have to show them 3 to participate. And this is my 3rd. So that's quite exciting. I've got the Firefly trays that I got in a D-stash here in Australia. I really like these ones. They're quite nice. And the color contrast is really good for the landscapes. Like I don't get too many pinks in the landscapes. So I'm finding like it's just nice.
They're really nice trays, aren't they?
They are.
Keep an eye out for that.
Definitely one of my favorites.
They look like the
Fantasy Sparkles.
Fantasy Sparkles, yeah. I do like the Fantasy Sparkles for the squares, but I need to find something a bit better for my rounds. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm really struggling with the round side of it.
Yeah, I know, because they're a bit bigger and they don't tend to make it the right fit for your rounds.
No.
That's I want to try the. Yeah.
I was just going to say they're not as common, probably.
They're not. Yeah, it might be it. Hey, I want to try. Is it Yellow Dog? Yellow Dog Creations?
Oh, yes.
I think they're from Canada, so it might be a bit cheaper for our shipping.
Maybe.
Come from Canada. So yeah.
Although we still haven't unboxed that package, the Friends Care package that we got.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know what's in there because I haven't even peeked. So they said they were throwing in a few little extras. I don't know what they are. So we may actually find some trays. I don't know.
We have to have a road trip. I tell you,
I think so.
It's got so much going on lately. It's so hard. We're only 4 hours away from each other, guys. Like, but that's still a lot. And it can't really do it in one day because I don't really. That road down to where Bella is horrendous, and you would never do that. I think in one day. So
no, there are too many fatalities that happen on that road.
It's a shocking road. It's not worth it. Yeah, even though it's our national highway.
As much as I love you and I want to see you, I'm not risking that.
That's it. That's what I'm like too. But we'll get there. We will get there.
We will.
And we will definitely do an unboxing together. So I think that's what we're going to try and do. We want to actually be in person to open that.
Yes.
So we're not on the line with each other.
Yes. So I'm really sorry, Robin and Brittany. We it's not that we don't appreciate it, but we appreciate it so much we want to do it together.
Exactly. It's a very special moment for us, and we want to enjoy it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's your life been going? Apart from being unwell at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Well, apart from being unwell, school for my son. So he's officially primary school now, being a little prep. He's just finished his 3rd week of school, and my son is still 4. He won't turn 5 until the end of his first term. Like he's an April baby, so his birthday is just after the start of school holidays. So he's still a little kid, and he's my baby. I don't care what anyone says. He's my baby. Of course,
exactly. So is mine. Mine are almost 10 and 6, so they're still my babies.
Yeah. I am actually going to pause while I'm talking about this. I'm not going to diamond paint because it really makes me upset, and I don't want to take it out on my diamond painting.
Okay.
So, week 2, the end of week 2, so Friday a week ago, I picked my son up from school, and every day we get stuck in car, like in the school traffic, because we all know what school traffic's like. I got stuck in the car with him, and so I've been making it a habit to say to him, hey, how was your day today? What did you do? What letter are you learning? What number are you learning? Like all of those things. Yeah. But we're stuck in school traffic. So I turned around and I looked at him, and he had a mark next to his eye. And I said, buddy, what happened? And he said, this boy hit me. And I said, wait, what do you mean he hit you? Like, what happened? Because, you know, again, these are 4 and 5-year-old kids. Arms get flailed around.
Yeah.
Like, you know, anything can happen. And I'd noticed over the last week or so, he'd had a few bruises on his arms and things. But again, I'm like, you're a kid, you run into stuff. It happens.
Yeah.
What do you mean he hit you? Like, what happened? And he said, this kid started talking to me and I said, be quiet. We're supposed to be quiet and do our work. And he hit me with it was either his pencil or his crayon. And he hit me. And then he said to me, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Oh my God.
So I froze in the car and went,
yeah.
What do you mean he said that to you? Like, what 4 or 5-year-old? This kid's 5. What 5-year-old knows to say that as a threat?
Yeah. Yep.
So I was trying not to make a huge deal out of it because I don't want my son to think then that he's traumatized. But I sort of said to him, okay, so has he said this to you before? Now, again, as a 4-year-old, time doesn't have a lot of meaning to these kids. And he had originally said like yesterday and then it was the day before. So it was either Wednesday or Thursday or both. This kid had threatened him again.
Oh,
with
my
the same
goodness.
So at least twice he's been threatened to be punched in the face. And I sort of let it go and moved on. And like the bit that made me really sad was it's that innocence of a young child is that when he was talking to me about it, I was focused on he's going to get punched in the face. But my son got focused on the fact that, and he started crying in the car and said, Mummy, he said that he would never be my friend.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
So that was not fun.
No.
So I sat on it for a little bit because I thought I'm too angry. I can't do anything. And it's Friday afternoon. So I actually sent his teacher a message on the class app. I sent her a message and said, I need to catch up with you on Monday. There's been obviously a bit of an issue between these two boys and we need to nip it in the bud now.
Yeah.
So the teacher was really good and she said, like she was supposed to, it's a religious school, so she was supposed to go to prayer and worship with the teachers first thing in the morning. She actually skipped that so she could have the meeting with me. So at 8:00 Monday morning, we had a meeting and I went in and I was trying really hard to be calm. And the worst bit was my husband was flying out of town for the week. So I was managing all of this on my own.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of single parents out there. So hats off to you guys because emotionally I was a mess at the end of last week. Sorry. So I went in and said, right, there's been an issue between the two boys and I've got concerns about it. And she obviously wanted to sort of jump the gun and say that she was aware of what was happening. And she said to me, she said, oh, yes, I saw that there was an incident where he got hit on the arm and he got really upset, but we iced it. And I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know about this one.
Yeah.
And suddenly she stopped.
Yep.
That makes me
a bit angry there. Yeah.
Now there's 2 incidents where he's been left with a mark. And I had seen a bruise on his arm, but again, they're kids. So I hadn't assumed that my 4-year-old was being bullied at school.
Yeah.
So I sort of let it go and just said what I needed to say. And she agreed that there's obviously an issue. And she did sort of say that this other kid has learning difficulties. Not on the autistic spectrum. Well, potentially there probably is autistic spectrum issues there as well. But this kid is more developmentally delayed. So it's meaning like the body is physically growing faster than the mental mind.
Yes.
So emotional regulation is not this kid's forte. Which I can understand, but it means that this child needs a lot of extra support and that should not be at the risk of my son or any other child.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. You have the right for your child to be safe and it doesn't matter what other kids. Yep, okay, there's something going on there, but still.
And it's obviously very much that knee-jerk reaction for this child, which is why I think it is that emotional regulation because it's only happening in class. It's not happening in the playground. It's not premeditated. It's obviously just that knee-jerk reaction of you've said something I didn't like or you've done something that I don't like, therefore I'm retaliating. Because that's what that mental age of a 2 or a 3-year-old does, not a 5-year-old, you know?
Yeah.
So she agreed that it was an issue, and there are 21 children in the class. So there is actually a spare desk. So she asked me and she said, are you comfortable if I move your son? And everyone's instinct, like the other mums that I've talked to were like, my son should not be the one feeling like he's in trouble.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
And I agree, but I also was looking at the layout of the classroom, and I think she has done the right thing. So the way that it's been set up is this kid is actually sitting right near the teacher's desk already. So he's at the front. There's no child on his right-hand side, and my son was on his left. So by moving my son, there is now no child next to him.
Okay. Yep.
So it actually makes sense. It just sounds more like my son's getting punished, especially because all of his kindy friends were at the other table.
We're at that table. Yeah.
So when we sort of agreed with it, because I still think it is the right thing to do, seeing the layout, is I had to go out and say goodbye to my son, and I made a big deal saying, like, buddy, you are not in trouble. We are moving you to make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
And if anything happens, you know, you still need to tell somebody, but you are not in trouble. And he was actually quite excited to sit there, which again rang alarm bells for me. And so Monday afternoon, the first day after the move, I went to pick him up and I brought him a little chocolate because, again, if any of the other kids had said anything, I just didn't want him to feel like it was his fault. So I brought him a little chocolate and gave it to him in the car and, hey, how was your day? You know, is the new desk working out for you? Like, tell me everything. And the first thing out of his mouth is he got so excited. He said, Mummy, I didn't get hit today.
Oh, my God. Oh, I just want to cry.
I cry every time I talk about it.
Yeah.
So how bad has this been for him?
For the last, for those 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And poor baby.
So.
Oh, my goodness.
At the end of the week, so Friday just gone, I sort of checked in with him and I just said, so are you still happy sitting at this desk, or do you want to look at moving back to your other desk with all of your friends? And he went, no, Mummy, I like this desk. I'm getting work done and I'm happy. I was like,
good.
Okay, well, that's okay then. But I was just breaking to think, how bad was that 2 weeks for you, mate?
Exactly. Setting up the foundation of school, you know, in those first 2 weeks, and how scared he must have felt.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got goosebumps. That is horrible. Oh, the poor thing.
Yeah.
You handled that amazing, though. And don't take it as a reflection on you. You know, at least he eventually did feel comfortable to tell you. You know, eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I had to probe him, but I like the fact that he was able to tell me. It just saddens me that I had to probe him first.
Yeah, but that's the age, I tell you. Like, they don't. I'm finally getting things out of my daughter, and she's 10, almost 10. You know, she tells me how excited she is about school, and this is the first time since she started. And she's in grade 5.
I love that.
And my boy that's in grade 1, he won't tell me. I'm like, how was your day? Yeah, all right. I'm like, what'd you do? Nothing.
Oh, like, good on nothing.
And you ask those open-ended questions, and you still get nothing exciting. Yeah. So it's hard of it. I'm glad you've got a positive result, because sometimes you don't, and you've got a teacher that was actively trying to get a result for you, but it still makes me annoyed that she knew something was happening and didn't notify you, for starters. That really makes me a little bit angry. I had something similar.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, when my daughter was in kindy, and she was at a daycare centre, like, so you either get like the standalone kindies, or you get ones attached to the daycare centre. And I got to pick her up one day, and she has a massive scratch down her cheek from about the top of the cheekbone, probably about where the lips across parallel to the lips.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
It was huge. And I'm like, oh my God, what on earth has happened to your face? The teachers had no idea about it. I was wild, absolutely wild. And she still now to this day has a slight scar.
Oh my gosh, so it drew blood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Massive scab and everything. It was disgusting. And I ended up having to put a formal complaint in against the educator, which I had run-ins with her before and I'm like, how did you not notice this boy's
that's
her?
right.
You know, like, were you even patrolling? Like, were you even looking? Like, how did you not know? I probably didn't handle it as well, but she needed a complaint in against her. That is just not on. And too many things were happening, and I was not gonna put up with it. Like, my other boy, he got bitten so many times.
Aww.
You know, and he got bitten like 6 or 7 times a day.
Oh my gosh.
And they weren't doing anything about it. And it's kind of like, why is it on the parent that has to chase this up? You know, it should not be on me. I'm like, you guys need to kick him out of the centre or I'm going higher.
Yeah.
And this is not on. No. Like, if he's, and I think it sounded similar to what you were saying about this boy. You know, it's an emotional reaction because they can't regulate the feelings. So when they was like, this is when my boy, they were sitting and doing something had happened. My boy was next to him. He'd reach him and he'd bite his ear. You know, it was horrendous. And I think, but sometimes you can't really blame the educators in a way because they're doing what they can. You know, maybe they're not allowed to do all these things in a reaction and reacting to the thing. They're only allowed to separate, but still, I understand what you're going through, and it's horrific.
It's also like, I can understand, you know, there's a lot of kids that they have to look after, but if you know that you have a particular, I'm going to say problem child, whether it's their fault or no fault of their own, but if you know you've got a child who's got problems, why is there not an educator at least closer to that child?
Exactly.
Like, you know, in this classroom, like this teacher claimed that she didn't know about him being hit near the eye. The only incident she knew of that she says was the one on his arm that needed ice. Now, there's 21 children in that class. We have the teacher, we have a teacher aide, and we also have a student teacher aide. That is 3 teaching staff in a class of 21. How? And there's only 2 big desks. So even if you have the teacher at the front of the class teaching something, to me, you would have a teacher aide looking after each of the desks.
Yeah.
So how has somebody not seen what is going on between my son and this other child?
They just,
I talked to one of my friends.
They probably said.
Yeah.
No, go.
I was just going to say, I spoke to one of my friends. She's actually got 4 kids. She's got 2 boys older than my son and 2 girls younger than my son. But her oldest is grade 2 this year, and he actually had the same prep teacher. And when I talked to her about it, and I said, you know, I wasn't happy, and I had concerns that why is there bullying for a prep student? And she said, with that particular teacher, she found that this teacher is very, very caring, but to the point where potentially doesn't necessarily report enough things up because she just is trying to care for the kids herself instead of asking for help and making sure that things are being dealt with.
Okay.
So I went, right. And she said, I would suggest going higher up. And I said, yep, okay. I'm hearing what you're saying. So I sat back and I thought about it because I thought I don't want it to be a knee-jerk reaction, and I also don't want this teacher to then think that I'm going straight over her head, and I don't want my son's education disadvantaged, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's also the human knee-jerk reaction. So I thought about it, and I ended up going to the vice principal for primary school. And I just sent her a message and said, I want to utilize your background. I want to bring you up to speed, and I want to utilize your background. This vice principal, she's actually a psychologist, a child psychologist.
Nice. Yeah.
So she has, it still makes me laugh, for primary school, they have an official emotional support dog at the school. I know, right? This is her dog that she's had go through training. So, I mean, look, I understand why they've got it. It just still makes me laugh. She does utilize it, especially for the preps and the grade ones, for that goodbye to the parents. You know, you've got kids that still have a bit of that separation anxiety. So she does actually, she finds out which kids are struggling and she brings the dog down, and that distracts the kids. You know, they're able to talk through their emotions. Like, she still lets them do the goodbye, and then once mum's left or dad, she'll then pull the kids away and then get them to pat the dog and talk it through. So, you know, she's not using it as a distraction. She's using it as a tool. So I actually quite like the idea of it. I still find it hilarious that we have an emotional support dog at the school.
Yeah. That sounds funny.
So, yeah, just random. So she rang me Friday afternoon when I was going to pick up my son, and I gave her the rundown and said, you know, look, I want you to be aware of what's going on, but I want to use your background of psychology to be able to check in with him and make sure I'm not missing any red flags, to make sure that he knows who he can talk to, like all of those things.
Yeah.
And when I gave her the rundown, like, I could tell, because when she rang me, I said, I'm actually on my way to the school. Do you want me to come and talk to you? And she's like, no, let's do this over the phone. I was like, you're obviously thinking I'm going to come in guns blazing here. And that's very much not what I'm trying to do. So I had a little chuckle at that. But once I started talking to her, she was like, okay, I see what you're saying. She said, I think you're completely right. Like, we don't want him to be disadvantaged with his learning. We don't want him to be, you know, constantly thinking that that's the norm. We don't want him to feel scared. And I was like, that's exactly my concern, is I want to make sure that he knows that, one, he can talk to me, which he obviously can, but two, that he knows who he can talk to and feel comfortable to talk to, and make sure that there's none of this, you know, suppressed emotion that's suddenly going to come out when he, you know, goes into puberty or something. I don't want any of that to come through. I want it dealt with now. And then she obviously, when she was thinking about it, she then sort of agreed that this other kid is going to need a lot more support. And so she's already said that she's going to check in with the teacher and work out what they can do, and if there's anything that she can get involved in, especially with the dog and the psychology background, to try and help out. So I was I was glad that I was sort of like, I'm hoping that this is coming across of, I'm worried about the safety of my son, not I'm having a dig at the teacher, even though I'm kind of having a dig at the teacher.
But I think you have to, in a way, because if her teaching style is not appropriate to the kids, which they're all not going to be, like, they need to be a bit flexible and be able to help out the other kids. But and I'd say she's probably is struggling, you know. Like, I've got teachers that are friends, and what they tell me about some of the kids that they have to deal with and the barriers they've got, it's horrendous.
Oh, absolutely. I would hate to be doing what they have to do.
Same. I'd never be a teacher. No offense, guys.
No, hats off to anyone who is, because I don't like kids enough to try and deal with all this red tape. So
I was going to say, give me like an ulcer or protruding bone any day.
I would become the ultimate cranky old woman, I think. It would drive me insane. They have to have the patience of a saint, these people.
Oh, they do. Yep. Yeah, totally agree. Oh, goodness. Well, I hope this week is going to be off to a good start for him, and I really hope it hasn't left any lasting impressions on him. But like, I know I say it when my daughter was in prep, it dumbfounded me how kids can be so mean.
I know.
Silly. And like, I know. I couldn't get over it. And some girls, they were like, "You're not playing with me." You know, it was horrendous. Wow. But my daughter likes to go around to all different groups of friends. You know, she's a social butterfly. Cliquey group. She is, and she has a mood. If she wants to be with this group, she'll go with them. Like, and some of them just can't handle that she likes to be around other people, and it's quite difficult. And it started in prep, and I saw it. I'm like, how can they be so cruel and rude? I'm like,
I know. It blows my mind. And like the one that also got to me was I was talking to one of the mums in one of the other classes. She was in my mum's group.
Yeah.
And we were having a chat about what had happened. And she actually knew the kid that I talked about because she was in the other kindy class. And when I said that we've had a bit of an issue, she said, "Oh, is it this kid?" And I automatically went, "Yes, what do you know that I don't?"
Yeah.
And this kid, like you said, had bitten another kid in the kindy class, and apparently also went to after school care one day and had an incident with one of the other kids. She doesn't know exactly what happened. They obviously keep it fairly close mouthed, but had an incident and this kid wasn't allowed back. So
goodness,
it concerns me that there's a track record already for at that stage, a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, that concerns me. But anyway, I was talking to her about how her daughter was going because her daughter does have separation anxiety problems. And she works really hard to try and stop that. Like, she's not one of those mums that'll drag out goodbye to make it worse. Like I actually have a lot of respect for her. She is a very, very good mum. I wish I could have her calmness sometimes. But she was saying that when she was outside the classroom waiting for her daughter to come out. And as her daughter came out, she overheard one of the boys in her class. He came out sooner and his dad was next to her. And this little boy said to his dad, "Oh, look at that baby. He's so fat." And my friend said, like, she didn't say anything at the time. She said she was quite angry, but she let it go because that's not the place to make a scene, is outside the classroom with all the kids coming out. She let it go, and the baby's parents were also quite taken aback, and they obviously didn't want to make a scene. But once she was actually talking to me, she said this baby wasn't fat. Like, this baby was very slightly, like, very healthy looking, but was wearing a t-shirt that was about 3 sizes too big.
Oh my goodness.
The problem is that, of course, this kid has said it in front of all of his friends. And so my friend's daughter was then said, "Mummy, do I have a fat tummy? Do I need to be worried? Because, look, I've got a little kid." And she was like, "Sweetheart, you are fine." And I'm going, these kids are in prep and they're already getting body shamed.
Yep.
What is going on?
It's a rude awakening, isn't it? I tell you, when you get into school, you have no idea. You're so, like, you've got your blinkers on and then you come in and you think, "Oh my God, like, this is just
I was
wrong."
blown away.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I want to bring my son back into our little bubble of not aware of any of this stuff happening. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And see, then I think you can come in and bring this into your own parenting, and you can say, like, did you hear those boys talking about that? Like, have you heard anything? And, like, what do you think about it? And I know with me, I kind of talk to my kids and say, well, yes, that upset you. What that person said to you really upset you. So imagine how they would feel if you did the same to them.
Yeah.
You know, because then if you see that behavior mirrored, like them doing it, that's what I do to my daughter all the time. How do you know, how would you feel if they spoke to you that way or treated you that way? So I'm like, why would you do it? You know, it's a good sort of moment to sort of bring them around and say, to actually feel what it would feel like if something like that was done to them.
Yeah.
And I haven't had to do it for a while, but gosh, coming into puberty with my daughter,
good luck.
I'm in the next stage and I'm not looking forward to it. So,
Could you counseling me as a mom?
I know, not bad, eh?
I'm proud of you on a Sunday morning.
See, I've had my coffee today, so I'm on the ball.
Look at you go.
I know, iced coffee. Gosh, I'm loving them at the moment.
Oh, it's hot enough. It's hot enough.
It's disgusting, isn't it? We had the most amazing storm last night. The thunder and lightning.
I was wondering if you had it. We had a nasty one.
Yeah, it was fast moving though, so it wasn't it didn't hang around for long. And I got a photo. I'll send it to Belle so she could try and share it or something. But I took a photo of it as it was coming over, like, because my house faces the south, and I think I've said before, we get the storms from the southwest, and the way it was coming in, it was incredible. It was like trying to get a video of the lightning strikes, and my son's like, "Get inside, it's getting close." So he was kind of freaking out, but absolutely incredible. Loving the weather at the moment.
Oh wow. We actually went out for dinner last night and it hit on our way home. So we were driving through, but like the light show surrounding us was spectacular driving home.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not used to these big electrical storms, guys. Yeah. Oh, I know. Luckily, I think we just further north of me, they've had some massive flooding over the last few weeks, and we got quite a fair bit as well, but nowhere near as much as north, and cut off all the major highways and stuff. But this is kind of like a normal monsoon wet season for us.
It is very much so.
And I think it's just starting a bit later, but it's
I thought it was too. So if we do have any listeners who are living in North Queensland, let us know how you went in all that flooding.
Please do.
Like, that was crazy. I will also say that you can tell it's fairly normal for us here in Queensland because it was sort of mentioned for all of about 2 days in the media and then it was moved on.
Yeah. They're like, no.
Like, we're not sort of following up with the devastation or anything because it happens most years somewhere in Queensland.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm hoping that if we do have any listeners who are in that area, I really do hope that you are okay and that you weren't severely affected by all that flooding.
One of the ladies I work with, she lives up in Townsville, and she was telling me how some of the wind and rain was like so like intense that it actually blew in under her roof. So it lifted up the roof and came in that way. And
under the eaves?
Under the eaves. And it shorted out her entire house, and her roof caught on fire. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. They had to get the fire brigade, and the ambulance came out, and she was out without power for about 3 or 4 days, I think it was. And because they couldn't put anything on because it was so wet up in the roof from all the rain, but then the fire had shorted out all the cables. It was ironically the smoke alarms that caught fire. I'm like, wow, that's like, and she was showing us these photos, and she lives up on a slight hill, and of the water coming up the hill. It was like incredible. I'm sorry, I find this all fascinating. I'm sorry, this is us North Queenslanders. We're a bit weird. But we're all safe and dry, and they were fine. But just Mother Nature is just an incredible thing.
It is absolutely insane this year.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I
think we rained for about 2 weeks nonstop. Sorry.
Yeah. And we're still going.
We're still going. Every night we get rain.
And then it's a storm again. Our ground is so boggy. It's quite weird. And it's green. I can't remember the last time we had green grass.
Yeah. I suppose, you're in a little bit drier climate than I am. So we usually get all this rain, and then it stays green until about maybe August, September. And then we start to go brown, and then we get all the rain come in October and November, and we're back to green again.
Yeah. Whereas I'm used to like the yellow green, not green.
Yeah, not green. Yeah.
So, like for us, it's a big deal if my husband has to mow once a fortnight. At the moment, he's only getting about 5 or 6 days before he's got to mow again. Like it's crazy how much it's growing at the moment.
We're like every day. Every 2 to 3 days, my husband has to get out, even just with the brush cutter, because it's just the ground is too wet to even walk on.
Yeah. But I mean, like, my husband's not going to do nearly 2 acres every couple of days, the poor bugger.
Yeah.
I might be asking a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been some crazy weather. I can't remember if I told you, but a couple of weeks ago we were getting the school shoes for my son to be able to go to prep, and one of the storms came and hit so bad the shopping centre, which is the major shopping centre for here, it's the biggest one there is. It had a blackout and everyone had to evacuate.
Oh, goodness.
And it was the same thing. The storm hit and it actually took down a tree on one of the little creeks, like the bridge that goes over the creek. It actually blocked the road. Like they had to have a police escort to get cars not to come that way.
Yeah.
And it took down all the power lines, and it ended up creating, like, as it ripped out, it created a short circuit again in the smoke alarms. So the smoke alarms were going off, which is why the whole centre had to be evacuated. But yeah, it was a major blackout.
Incredible.
How's but the river going? A generator. So the generator kicked in. So we only had like lights flicker before the generator kicked in. It was only a momentary loss for us. And so we're all like, why are we evacuating? So we had to stand outside the shopping centre for like 20 minutes, half an hour, until they'd completely cleared everyone. And then the fireys had come in to check that it was all fine. And then they had to let, obviously, like the shop staff in first. And then they let in the masters. And we'd actually just finished. We were sitting down to eat. We hadn't quite ordered. So we decided that we were going to leave. But the problem is where we'd been evacuated was the complete opposite end of the shopping centre to where we parked the car.
Yeah,
so we had to spin around and wait until they opened the shop so that we could just walk through the centre to get back to our car.
Oh, no.
It was a very weird experience.
I'm interested to see how the river's going. Like, is it got a bit more water in it, or is it sort of?
It has, because they've ended up having to open the barge.
Ah, righto. Yeah, because I was thinking, I know out west have had quite a fair bit, and because it came down a bit west of us, so I'm thinking, it's got to come down into the Dawson. Oh no, not Dawson, Fitzroy somehow, doesn't it?
Yes. So we're expecting rising levels soon, which is why they've opened the barge to clear out what they could.
To clear out, yeah. Oh, you should have seen the Pioneer River. It was incredible. Just absolutely roaring down. And now the water's gone down. You can see how high it was because of all, like, the trees and the grass are all knocked over from the side of the bank. And and it's like really the first time that the kids have seen it, even though it's been higher than that, that they've really seen it and taken notice because they're at a good age for it. So they're like so fascinated. They're like, oh my God, that's so fun. I'm like, don't even go near the water.
No, that's right. That's right. And like, I always find it really interesting to see what different countries and even different states and regions put out for like safety warnings. Like, I've noticed, I always find it really, really funny when we travel that in Australia, especially in Queensland, whenever we talk about like power usage to try and stop either brownouts or rolling blackouts, that we always talk about the fact that our air conditioners should not be set below 25 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Now, 25 degrees Celsius is, I think, what, about 90 Fahrenheit or 85 Fahrenheit or something? Something like that. So, you know, to put it in perspective, like, I'll flash up on the screen, whatever the number is. You know, it's always funny to me that all of our energy usage is don't set your air cons below 25 degrees, otherwise we'll have outages. You know, whereas when I've traveled overseas to places like Europe, they're like, don't set your heat pumps above 18 degrees Celsius. And I'm like, our air cons don't even get that cold. It blows my mind.
Exactly right, hey.
And, you know, like, we have all the ads come out every summer. Like, you'd be the same. You see the ads from the Queensland government that come out saying, never walk into floodwaters. You don't know what's underneath. Yeah. So we have major injuries. We have hospitalizations every year. And sometimes, unfortunately, we have deaths associated with people who are trying to test how deep the floodwater is, and they'll wade out and get swept away by the current. And it doesn't look that rough at the surface.
That's what I know that they're the common one that I've noticed this time is more so you're like, you don't know what's underneath it. You don't know what the road looks like under, and then they show like an after photo of some of these roads and like the whole road, and like one of the major highway up between Townsville and Cairns, they've been cut off for ages because part of the bridge washed away. So they've had to rebuild a section of this bridge on our major highway. So you can imagine people trying to get across this bridge, not knowing that it's gone, that the bridge is gone. You know, it's some people,
and that's why we've had issues where cars have been washed away.
And I think like you're putting the emergency services at risk to come and rescue them.
That's exactly right.
I'm intrigued to see, if other countries have something similar like that as well. Like, is it an issue everywhere else, or are we just sort of like cowboys that think that we're invincible? And well, I'm not, because I freak out if I have to go through like a couple of centimeters of water.
I'm too much of a good girl. It just blows my mind that people wouldn't do this.
I'm a good girl. I don't break any rules.
Yeah. But I also want to know, like, tell us in the comments below, like, if you have, you know, warnings that happen in your area, like, one, what are they for? But two, do you have a catchy slogan with it? Because I know the one for Queensland is, if it's flooded, forget it.
Get it. Yeah. So easy to remember, isn't it?
It is. And that's why I love the fact that they do come up with these catchy slogans. But yeah, tell us in the comments below. I'm interested.
Yeah, me too. I'm thinking like it'd probably be more for snow, maybe. Even though it's something that we never really experience up here. So that might be so. Gosh, it gives me sort of like I'm never even going to experience, but I get anxiety even just thinking about having to drive in the snow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Driving in the
friend
storm
in
is
Norway,
bad.
There's been a few times like I've gone to visit her, and she'll say to me, oh, do you want to drive? Now, they drive on the opposite side of the road to us. So for us, we drive on the left-hand side of the road, and Norway drives on the right-hand side of the road. So she's me like, and like you come up to a roundabout, and of course it's the opposite direction to us. So like the last time that we were there, my husband and I were in the back seat, like freaking out, going, "Oh my gosh, we're going to get hit!" No, it's actually the other direction. But you can't help it. It's so ingrained into you. But yeah, my friend said to me a couple of times, like, "Do you want to drive?" And I was just like, "No, I'm good." Like, the driving on the opposite side of the road freaks me out enough. And then the last time we were there, it was winter, and she was like, "Do you want to drive?" And I was like, "No," because if we come across like black ice, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
not
so
something I've
scary.
experienced. And this is after the fact that when we talked to her and we were sort of saying, you know, we were flying in for White Christmas. And I'd even said to her, I was like, what happens if it's snowing? Like, do they close the airport? Are we likely to have delays? Like, what do we have to do? She laughed at me. She genuinely laughed at me and was like, why would we close them? I was like, but if there's snow, like, what do you do? And she was laughing her head off. But I also had to say to her, remember, like, for us being part of the Commonwealth, we look to England, and any time that there's even a single snowflake, Heathrow closes, and that's what we see and hear.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you'll get to experience it and report back.
And she's like, "No, we don't close the runways unless there's a severe blizzard." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "If it's normal snowfall or even just a really mild blizzard, we'll still fly." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's eye-opening. So when we were over there, we actually did get to see them de-icing the plane.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, so whole new experience. But anyway, sorry, that was just something that fascinated me.
No. That is awesome. I hope I get I want to experience something like that, but I think I'd leave the driving to the professionals.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy I'm with the locals. They can take over.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. I'm happy to be a tourist and and let them sort of deal with it. Even though I'll dose myself up on a fair bit of any anxieties and yeah, off we go. Nice. Yeah.
Now, the last thing, we've been going for a little bit. The last thing I was going to mention is we've been tagged. So, we've been tagged by Sparkling Diamonds with Brittany and Robin. We love their channel, so I'm going to make sure that we link them below. Definitely go check them out if you haven't already. But they tagged us in a new lot of tags. So this one is a little bit different. This one's really simple. It's just the 5 things that we love about diamond painting. So if you haven't already answered in other videos, or if you want to answer them again, we'd love to hear it. But tell us down below, what are the 5 things you love about diamond painting? Because I think that's a really cool topic. Now, Loz, I'd mentioned it to Loz, but obviously she's had a bit going on. So I'm going to give her a second to think, and I'm going to tell you my first one.
Righto.
So my first one is the most important thing to me, which is the community of diamond painting. The people that we've met and we've made friends with, and especially like you, Loz. Like, I would never have met you if it wasn't for diamond painting. So I love that I've made so many friends from around the world, but especially you being reasonably close.
Oh, thank
You know,
you.
I love this community. I think it's brilliant. And, you know, yes, it's like any other community. It has drama at times, but it's big enough that you can distance yourself from that anyway and step sideways. It's not a big deal. Like, I love that.
I love that too. I think that's probably not one I would have like went to first. You know, that's not something I probably would have thought of. And I'm like, oh yeah, but it kind of makes sense. I think it should be high up on my list because, like you say, I meeting you has been incredible to have someone that we talk about. But we don't just talk about diamond painting.
No,
you know,
no.
we found that we have so much in common in other ways.
Oh, it's creepy. It's creepy how much we have in common.
It's creepy, isn't it? Oh my God. It's like we're a twin from a different sister from another mother or something. You know what they say?
Yeah.
Like
that's exactly right. Is it sister from another mister?
Yeah, it might be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think it's really cool that we get to have that.
I think mine is like how different it can be. So there's so many different types of diamond painting out there, so many different ones you can have. You're not all doing the same thing, so you don't all have to like the same thing. And like you guys know on this channel, I love portraits and Belle loves like your landscapes. So, you know, I think it's nice that we have something completely different, but we still love the same process of what it is and how it makes you feel doing it.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the big
one for you.
I could come up with 5 things.
I did come up with 5, so you can borrow some of mine if you like.
Okay. Right.
So, like, leading on to yours it was number 3 for me. But it's the beautiful artwork that we get to create, and like I'm very scientific minded, so I'm not artistic. This is an artistic outlet for me. So I love being able to create these different things, but it's also because I'm not artistic, I don't look at art. So I've learned about so many artists and so many different styles of paintings, and so many of these artists are actually involved in the diamond painting community. And I think it's amazing that we're interacting with these people that we admire, and they're so down to earth, and they're largely thankful for the community to support them and get their name out there. I mean, I think that's amazing.
It is. They really promote it, don't they? And I think it's like another avenue for them to promote their artwork. You know, it's not just as simple as buying it framed and putting it on your wall. It's seeing how people can change the photo and add their own little bits to it, and how they adapt their art to what people like. I think it's incredible. Yeah. And you know that thrill you kind of get when you think, oh my God, the artist commented on my post.
Yes. I was like that
a few times.
Like in the Randall Spangler group, that's hosted by Cara, the principal painter, and Brandy, from Mystery of Diamonds. They've got the Randall Spangler page, and so I often will post like my Randall Spangler finishes on there. And the last one that I did was it? No, it wasn't Cute as a Button. I can't remember. I put up Cute as a Button. I know I put up Cute as a Button, and I love the fact that Randall Spangler came back. Like, I didn't put the name of it in there, but I was like, I just love this adorable image, and I'm so glad I finished it. Like, it's spectacular. And I love the fact that Randall Spangler commented, and I got this little, you know, this girly moment of, oh my gosh, and all he said was, "That's so beautiful, well done. That is definitely cute as a button." And I was just like, it's so fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. It validates that emotional connection, doesn't it?
I just adored that. That was so fun.
I think we had that sort of fair moment again the other day. Was it with Emma Casey? She follows our channel. So hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
And we're like, oh my God, she's commented on our unboxing. That was
you should have seen the message that I sent to Loz going, oh my gosh, Emma Casey.
We were very excited, weren't we?
Yes. And I promise, Emma, we're going to be doing another WIP and chat video probably today that I'll upload probably next week. And I'm going to be working on your artwork. So don't worry. I'm still giving you the shout out, okay?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
All right.
What's next on your list?
The third one is, as you and I have talked about a lot, I think it's really important that we use this as an outlet to improve our mental health.
Yeah.
You know, you and I have had a lot of things going on with our family in the last week or two.
Yeah.
We talked about that, and emotionally it's very, very draining. And you and I both have stressful jobs working in health. You know, when you work in healthcare, emotionally you have to give so much that it's really, really draining. And I think it's really important that we take the time for ourselves to replenish that so that we can keep
so I totally agree with you there.
Yeah, and I know that you struggle a little bit more with time. I'm thankful that my child goes to bed at 7:30 every night. And I love that they do that. Like, I love that my son does that, because it means that once I've done that, I can feed the animals, get the washing up done, and then I can sit down and diamond paint every single day. And I get that mental rest before I have my shower and go to bed.
Yeah. That's nice that you can do that, because I'm finding I'm starting to make a bit of time in the afternoons.
Yeah, good.
And I think that's good for me. Whereas before I wasn't. I'd just go and sit with the kids and do something. But I'm also reading. I'm going off a bit tangent here. I've started reading again, and I'm loving it. So I did tell you last night that I finished Fourth Wing. Yes, okay. I'm 3 years behind. I'm 3 years behind, but I'm loving it. I finished it all last night. I think I read like 150 pages last night.
Woo!
Oh, I loved every bit of it. So now I've got my next one. I've got Iron Flame ready to go, and I'm liking that I can go back to back to back of these books. So I don't have to wait the years in between.
Yes. That's what I'll often do, is wait until like they've really finished a series and then I'll start.
Yeah, no, I thought that was great. So, yeah. But, yeah, I kind of think it's the same with your diamond painting. You know, it's like, my kids don't go to sleep until 8:30-ish, and I'm always awake early. So that's why I tend to go to bed early, and I need that sleep.
Yeah.
And plus, like, some of the medication I take does make me very tired. So I notice I get quite a few messages from Belle through the middle of the night.
Well, and that's why
she's the most productive.
I know you're asleep by that stage. I'm like, I'll just message you. You'll get it in the morning while I'm still sleeping. It's fine.
And then I'll reply, and you're like, "What the hell are you doing awake?"
Yeah, you threw me last night.
Yeah, I would have. Told you I was reading last night.
Yeah, it was good. No, I'm definitely a night owl, so that's where a lot of my messages.
I'm liking your answers. You have a very good take on this. I'm liking what you're doing. It's not just a simple one-word answer. You know, you've really thought about it. Put me to shame.
I've tried. It doesn't always work for me, but I did try.
You have tried this time. Yeah. What else have you got on your list?
Okay.
What's next?
So the last two, look, I'll be honest, the last two are probably about equal par for me. So I'm going to start with the first one. Kind of like what you were saying before, I love the variation that you can get. I love the fact that not just the painting style, like you can have, like you said, landscapes versus profiles versus, you know, silliness versus, you know, very dark art type stuff. But also I love the fact that we've got off-canvas projects, and we've got things like the minis, and we've got your huge kits, and like I love that there is so much to choose from. Yeah. Depending on what mood or what style you're into at the time, you can find something that will meet your interest.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
exactly
I love the fact
right.
that it blings, and they, like you said, you can make it your own. So if you want to work with crystals, you can work with crystals. If you want to chuck in some glow in the dark ones, you can do that. I love that.
And if you don't like rounds, you can do all squares, you know,
that's
quite a few. Yeah. But we're
I
like,
love
we
that
just go for the painting, don't we?
Yeah. But I love that there's always something to choose from. I think it's great. And then the other one that for number 5 that was sort of also equal number 4 is, let's be honest, like this is a little bit of an addiction. So there's always something to do with the collection. I love that there's also so many things that you can collect for accessories and putties and cover minders and all of these other things, that it's not just the diamond painting. You know, like we have a love for our hand-turned pen turners. We have a thing for all of our 3D printers out there and our putty makers and all of these different things that we can have. You know, I love that we can support so many small businesses and we can grow and we can share. And I just think it's fantastic.
And that's the thing too, isn't it? Like we are open to supporting these small businesses. Like, okay, people might have their preference for the canvas itself and the company itself, but there's so many small businesses out there that you can try them all. You can compare them all. You know, you don't have to stick to the one. You can use different ones all the time. And I think I like that. I love the variety. It kind of kills me how like a couple of companies sort of control the market for your canvas, but you've got to give these other ones a go. And I do like that. I do like that variety.
Yeah. So that's my 5. Is there anything else that you would like to add in?
No, I think you've done pretty well for the both of us. Yeah, I think mine would have been exactly the same.
Blacker.
Not quite.
So don't forget, add in the comments below. What are your 5? I'd really love to see what you guys are thinking about this one too. But we also have to tag 5 people. So I will add them in the description below. So go check them out if you haven't already. But we are going to tag Melissa from Diamond Nana. We're going to tag Kim from Kimber's Crafts. So she's the one who's also hosting the minis event. I was also going to tag Debbie, but I know she's been tagged from Sparkling Diamonds. So I'm going to tag Kim. Nice. We're going to tag Lee and Lenore from L&L Diamond Painting. We're going to tag Christopher Colosser. Now, I think most people in the community definitely know of Christopher.
Everyone sort of knows Christopher, don't they?
Yeah. I think a lot of people know Lee as well. He's involved in a lot of the lives, and he's the one who like puts out all the drinks and the cookies and everything for everyone to share.
Righto. Yeah.
He's quite fun for lives. So I'm going to tag them, and I'm also going to tag Angel Lee Rose. She's British, so I like that there's a different accent in there too.
I know. I listened to someone that's British, and the accent is so nice.
It is. It is. I love it.
Yeah. Oh well, gosh, look at the time.
Yes.
We got other unboxings to get through. It's my turn this week, guys.
Oh yeah.
Belle's actually going to let me get through some of mine, so be prepared for them. Then not many. I can't say that I have a lot. So, but still. Well, I'll show you. I'm looking forward to showing you my PaintGems because I'd really like to work on some of them. So that's probably one I'll do first. And I do have a mini dazzler, so be on the lookout for that one as well. And I do have some more art and soul to go through. So we can sort of get through some of these over the next few weeks. And I just want to say quickly before we go, I know it's a long one. We are so close to 200 subscribers, guys. I think we're sitting at 195. Like, how exciting is that? Like, it only just felt like a couple of weeks ago we hit 100. So we're so thankful to have you guys with us and enjoying our craziness. And if you feel like sharing our page with some other people that you think might like us, please do. We would really appreciate more people to come and join us because we love it. We love people enjoying our quirkiness and our craziness, and So I'm going to wrap it up.
Some of our Aussie slang out to the world because apparently we use it a lot, and I had no idea. So also in the comments below, let us know some of the slang terms that we use, and we will do a whip and chat talking about what our slang means.
Yes. Because I'd like to do a whip and chat about, like, we might include it in that where, like, unusual facts about Australia. Because I think a lot of people are don't really understand much about us and think that we don't celebrate Christmas and all this other stuff, bit of weird stuff that comes up on TikTok. So I would love to do, like, a myth Mythbusters on Australia.
Yes.
That would be so cool.
We all know.
So if you have any questions or things you want to know, exactly what you want to know about us, what our jargon is, please let us know and we can add it to that video because that's something I'd love to do.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you do something special for yourself. I hope you get plenty of time to do some of your diamond painting, and we'll see you again in a video another time. So have a great day, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.